Namaste, yoga friends. My name's Doreen Foxwell. Welcome to this week's Kids Yoga Meets Astrology. This weekend happens to be packed with some other holidays, such as Easter, Passover, and the full moon. And we need to celebrate this full moon because this in astrology is your first full moon of the new astrology, new year in Aries. Aries is very, very powerful, pushing things forward type of sign. They're what's called a fire sign, very fiery. And but the full moon is also falling in Libra, and Capricorn are also playing a big part. Those two zodiac signs are a little bit different. Libras are very, very much about relationships. And that is what this full moon's focus really is. Capricorn's about doing the work, being grounded to earth. And there are still many planets that this moon is affecting that is in the water sign of Pisces, which is my sign. I understand Pisces very, very much. If your children have been affected by this full moon this week in the Pisces energy, that means that they might have been very emotional this week. They might be crying about things they normally don't cry about. I know I was talking to my own daughter about my oldest grandson. He's very sensitive. He is a Cancer. I just love Cancers. My son is a Cancer too. And so I have two Cancers in the family, my son and my grandson. But water signs of any kind will be affected too, especially by a full moon. A full moon affects water signs because the full moon affects water in the oceans. But here's a fun fact I bet you might not have known. Easter is always the first Sunday after a full moon in that season. Did you know that? I never even knew that. I'm still learning these things. Man, that full moon is so powerful. And so what do you do on a full moon? What you should do on a full moon is you should release things no longer serving you, release things no longer working for you. Now, because this full moon has to do with the sign of Libra, Libra is the sign of relationships. I'm so lucky I'm married to a Libra. And so he can deal with my emotions and my emotional body and stuff because he is all about understanding relationships. Now, your children might have some friendships or relationships that from the outside you can see are not the best relationships for them. But children, they often don't listen to us, especially our own children. And so one of the worst things you can do is tell your own children not to hang out with a certain child or person or friend. All you can do is be there to support them and give them advice when they ask. But this is a perfect time to kind of walk away from those relationships that are not serving you, not serving them. They just are not the best for your own personal growth, let's say, or your child's growth. And so it's a very difficult subject and a difficult time if you know that you have those relationships in your child's life or your own that just aren't in the best light for you anymore. And sometimes that's work relationships for adults. For kids, that's relationships at school or at home. Sometimes it's even relationships with family members. And so you have to really, really do some work, internal work, to know what relationships are the best for your child and for you that will serve them the best, that will serve you the best. And it's very difficult, I know, as a parent to not have guilt over it. Especially me, Jewish guilt. I tell you, Jewish guilt about so many things. And so for this full moon, you want to dig deep into your heart. And whenever you have to dig deep into your heart, place your hand on your heart. Or for the children, we like to make the heart shape visually for them to see it. And I want you to imagine who you want inside that heart. Who do you want in your heart? Who do you want in your heart every day? Who do you want to affect your heart every day? Because whoever is around you affects that heart. Who do you want to send your love out to? Your family, your friends, your teachers. These are all things that you will have to take time, and I suggest during this weekend to do that with the power of this pink full moon. And yes, I know it looks purple. It's supposed to be pink, but it's purple. Oh well, purple's a great color too. But imagine this is pink, pink. And so we're going to use the power of this pink full moon for meditating. Meditating is one of the best things you can do to know what you're really feeling. It eliminates the other stuff. We'll call it the noise. So for children to meditate, go by their age. If they're 2 years old, you'll be lucky if they can meditate for 2 minutes. If they're 5 years old, woo, you'll be lucky if they can meditate for 5 minutes. But you just simply want quiet and to be able to listen. Some people like music to meditate, and that's fine too. Some people like the sound of rainfall or rainwater. Some people like the sound of nature, or even if you're able to sit outside to meditate. Listen to the birds. Listen to the sounds. Listen to the wind. Listen to your breath. And the last thing I want to leave with you is about using crystals. Now, I just learned something after years of having crystals. I will always try to get my crystals to get charged, they call it, in the moonlight, to activate them. What I never knew was that certain full moons you do not want to put your crystals out in. You don't want them to be activated with that energy of that full moon. And for many of us, it might be different. There might be things that we want to be activated in our crystals to charge them. But this full moon is a very difficult full moon about those relationships. And so for those of you that do charge your crystals, keep that in mind, that this one might not be the best one to set your crystals out in. And you might want to just send positive energy to your crystals instead, positive thoughts to your crystals instead of using this powerful, supercharged type of moon. We're going into what's known as an eclipse season, which is a really all on its own. I'll be speaking about in the next weeks for you about what the eclipse season does. So I hope you enjoyed this week's Kids Yoga Meets Astrology. I know there was a lot of information in it for you today. I look forward to sharing more fun moon tips and astrology tips, because we're all about astrology, in the coming weeks. And again, my name is Doreen Foxwell, and I will see you next time. Namaste. Have a great full moon day. Happens around 2:56, I believe. Have a great Easter tomorrow. And for those of my Jewish friends celebrating, have a great Passover Seder. I know it was last night. And a great Passover holiday weekend. Happy and healthy to you.